Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Five Love podcast. I'm your host, Joel. I'm so happy that you guys have been giving me the support. Recently, I saw that I have reached over 100 listeners on Spotify. I know to a lot of people that may not seem like a lot, but to me, it's a big deal. And I am going to celebrate every win, regardless of how big or small it is. So continue to listen, continue to subscribe, like, share, comment. I really appreciate you. Today, I have with me Verdell, joining all the way from DC. Verdell, thank you for being a guest on the Five Love podcast.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to having a good time.
I look forward to having a good time too. Now, the last time I saw you was last September in DC. We were both
Yes.
competing at the Capital Classic tournament. And you were telling me that you're going to be here in New York in a few months
Yeah.
for Pride Slam.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are you excited for that?
No. I mean, it's too far away to be
No.
excited. I mean, it's too far away to be excited. It's so many
Okay.
things before then. So
Okay.
I'll be excited, I don't know, maybe the week of, because I'll
Okay.
be thinking about getting ready for it. And I have a tournament before then next month anyway. So it's like I haven't even gotten there yet.
Are you going to be doing singles and doubles, or would you just be doing singles?
Both. That's always the plan for me. They charge too much for me just to do one, honestly.
Yeah, I
So,
know. I know.
yeah, I wanna do it all.
Okay. And what are you doing to prepare for these tournaments?
Well, this next tournament in July is going to be on clay.
Wow. Is
It's
it
gonna
going to
be
be
green clay.
red clay or hard true?
It's gonna be hard true. So, but I funny enough, I like playing on clay, which if you look
Really?
at how I play
Yeah.
and even some of my challenges playing recently, you might be like, "What?" But I actually like it. Clay makes you have to like, it kinda separates, um I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Well, the men from the boys, the ladies from the girls. In tennis land, you have to actually have a tennis brain, and some fitness to get through it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna serve forever." Like, you have to I think I heard one commentator put it one way, that you really have to play tennis
You
to
know,
actually do well.
I will say I completely agree with you. Now, in the very first episode, I made a bold statement and I said that tennis shouldn't be played on grass. And shortly after, oh my God, you look so shocked. But let me explain. Let me explain. Give me a minute to explain.
Mm. Well, this was really fun. I'm glad we had this time together. Thank you for
No,
inviting me.
no.
It's time to go.
No, don't go, don't go, don't go. Please don't go. Hear me out, hear me out. Now, a few weeks after that, I played on grass for the very first time. I actually played at the venue where they used to hold the US Open.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people probably wouldn't remember that the
Oh,
US Open,
Forest Hills?
yeah, Forest Hills, yes. US Open, Australian Open also used to be on
Mhm.
grass. But now it's very difficult to find a grass court. Um, but since then, I have to say grass is my favorite surface now. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying, like on clay, you can't just serve it out, right? So because I serve big and I hit very flat, grass definitely suits my playing style. But I do agree with you about clay because that's the point I was trying to make is that with grass, if you have a big serve or you can serve on volley, it kind of gives you an advantage. Whereas on clay, you can't hide behind any one thing.
Yeah, you
With
have to
clay, you
actually
have to be able to do everything well, move well. You have to
yep.
serve, you have to be able to move forward.
Mhm.
You have to be able to
Yeah.
move side to side. You have to be able to slide on clay, just a
Adjust.
movement. So
Yeah, you have to be
I
able to
agree.
adjust too, I think, with also the thing that I think that gets underrated and overlooked
Yeah,
with clay,
yeah,
particularly if you're playing on just hard courts, is that you have to create your own momentum to move. Like, when
yes,
you are on a hard court, you can push against it and move forward, but on clay, you don't really get the chance to do that. So you have to really be mindful of where you're putting your feet because you
yes.
just can't assume that you're gonna be able to have a stable place to push off from. So you can't like, you really have to know where you're putting your feet. And I just like that. I mean, sure, I think people think that too. It's like, yeah, you could hit bigger stuff on clay. It's just it's a different mindset that you need to have. And, you know, I just like that. I think I read an article in Tennis Magazine many moons ago where the author was making an argument that people who do really well in the French Open tend to do really great at Wimbledon. And this is when the time between the two
What?
was even shorter. Yeah, because was it Jim Courier? I have to find the article, but I read it and it made sense to me because it's not like I was clearly clay and grass are two ends of the spectrum, right? But you have to have your skills so sharp and refined to do well on clay,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, hold on.
Unless you're
Let
just
me make sure I heard that right. You're saying
Mhm.
that the article said people who do well on clay do well at Wimbledon as well?
That people who win Wimbledon, at
Uh,
least in this more, I would say this is not true for before they changed the grass. Like when
mhm.
we have the old school grass, I don't think that was true at all.
Okay.
But I think once you got to more of the people that we would probably recognize playing, I think that's been more of the case. Like you would have, and I mean Roger would have won it anyway, probably, but it's like say the Andy Murrays or even the Serena Williams or things like that, where it's like, okay, you have the stamina, but also to do well on clay, you've had all this grooving that you've had to do with your shots. Like you've had to really think about how to play tennis. And so then you already have your tennis legs under you. I think that the article made the most point about that is like you have your tennis legs and then you go to grass and it's like, oh, I can do this.
I am
you
gonna
know?
need you to I'm gonna need you to share that article with me because
Hmm.
I'm not sure that I completely understand. Because generally, if you win Roland Garros, you don't really have much time to transition between
Hmm.
clay to grass. And so very, very few people have been able to win Roland Garros and Wimbledon back to back.
Mhm. Well, I would say in scare quotes easier now
Okay.
because you have extra time in between and the grass is not what it used to be. It's still
Yeah.
grass,
Yeah.
but I mean, we're talking 20 shot rallies on grass. I mean, even me is like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Like this
The
not what the
grass
point.
would be a
Like
lot quicker. Yeah.
we just had that 3 weeks ago. I don't want to
Yeah.
see it again on another surface. But to me, it makes sense. It's just like, hey, if I have the stamina to play and run around well on clay,
Yeah.
then hardcore, okay. You know what I mean? Like it's so I think in that way for me, it's like, okay, I've had you like you just have to get your reps. You can't just blast through anything. And so even if I don't win on clay, like if I'm playing decently competitively on clay,
Mhm, mhm.
I'm not at all concerned about a hard court.
Okay. Well, I will wait until I see the article because 'cause I'm not sure that I agree with that,
Mhm.
but that's okay.
But
Bring the
also my
article.
style of play makes a difference too. I think
Yeah, of course.
that
Yeah.
might be something
But
too. It's like
it's
yeah.
interesting you said style of play, but we'll get to that. We will get to that.
Mm,
I asked you to prepare a hot take. So be ready, and we
okay.
hope that this take is hot.
All right. Maybe this might be not be the hottest of takes, but we'll see. My hot
Medium
take
spice.
is my hot take is that Serena Williams actually already won the Grand Slam twice because the whole calendar year thing doesn't make any sense because there is a vast time gap between the Australian Open and the French. Actually, there's less time in between the US Open than the Australian Open.
Mhm.
And so to me, like literally when you get to the French Open, you have May, June, July, August, and then you have the end of the year stuff. And then you have like, the finals for the ladies, it's in November. For the men, I think it's actually, I forgot when. I know it's a little earlier now. But then in December, January, you're already right back. You're already playing.
Are you talking about her holding? Okay, so the way I understand it is she has three French Opens, and then
Hmm.
she has at least 5 to 7 of the others. So
Hmm.
she technically, well, she has three career Grand Slams already.
Right. Hmm.
And then she has two Serena Slams where she held all four
at
at
the
the
same
same
time.
time, but not
Mhm.
necessarily in the same
In the
calendar
same year, in the
year.
same calendar year. Mhm.
Yes. So
Mhm.
your hot take is that she's already won it because it doesn't matter if it's in the same calendar year or not.
Mhm. So let's see, you end the US Open usually the 2nd week of September,
September, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then the Australian Open ends before it doesn't it, like, it ends before the end of January,
yeah, January, yeah.
right? So let's say September, October, November, December, January. Okay, that's like about 5 months.
Hmm.
From the Australian to the French, February, March, April, May, in over there where now we're in June.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, what's the difference to say that it's in one calendar year? And I mean, the Australian Open used to be in December and nobody went. So it's like, to me, it doesn't, the idea that, oh, it's not the same calendar year, but even when I counted it's about the same amount of time between each of them
I
for
understand what
for
you mean now. I understand
yeah.
what you mean now. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But okay,
Especially for a season that never ends. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, of course, they'll never rank it as that, but it's just like,
yeah.
I
So you're not
mean,
taking into consideration the calendar year January to December. You're just looking at the amount of months within a cycle that she would have held all four
mhm.
slams
Yeah,
at a
I
given time.
mean, to me, that distinction really doesn't mean much because it's the same amount of time between, like, that's a huge gap,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Either from January to May,
Yeah.
and it's a little shorter between, September to January, but still, it's like, all right, it's the new year. It's like, to me, I mean, they're not going to change it or anything. Like, they're not going to
Right.
change it to make it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, might as well have. It doesn't really make a difference. Because somebody would say, well, someone run it when it was like this. It's like, oh, you mean when you only have to play one person? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course they won it.
I mean, it's difficult to win all in the same year. I mean, she came close. She came really close
Mhm.
one time, and I think she lost in the semifinal.
Yeah, I heard
But
about that. I heard that rumor. I don't really, I've heard rumors about this. But I don't recall this happening.
I think at the end of the day, it she has had such an amazing career that I don't think that probably would have been the cherry on top, but I don't think it changes her positioning as the greatest of all time.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not, I mean, that's the problem with even the greatest conversation.
Yeah,
So many things are different. I think people forget too that tennis as a pro sport is very young. Like, you could even go back to watching some of, like, Chrissy Everett's and John McEnroe's matches, and they're drinking Coke on the sideline.
yeah, I remember
You,
seeing clips of that.
like, they're literally drinking soda, between the change of ends, and so, like, they're like, as a professional sport, it's still new, so many things are still changing. Like, the people who, Rod Laver's still alive. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, these
yeah,
people who made these big strides. So it's, I even remember one time Martina Navratilova said, it's like, they prioritized the whole tour. So it wasn't a big deal if they didn't go to Australia or they didn't go to the French one year because they
that
were
is true.
playing the rest of the week. But if they had some sort of hindsight to be like, oh, look, one day this will matter,
Yeah,
her, Chrissy, or, John McEnroe, other people might have taken a couple more trips,
that's true. That is true.
you know?
And then travel was a lot more difficult then, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of things to consider. You are right.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And money. I
yeah,
mean, if you're a top player, you can afford to get a pretty, flying is still exhausting, but it's different even in being first class in a commercial carrier. But this other person can, get a chartered jet for them and their family and crew and get there when they want to, like, it's just, it's, I'm of the opinion that, like, look, if you give a great from another era the same technology and training, they will probably still find their way somewhere near the top.
yeah. That's true. I mean, I think this sport has evolved, and I think that was meant to be broken. And so, each era you're going to have somebody doing it bigger and grander with more opportunities. So
I have a better hot take.
Okay, let's hear. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
They should restrict racket technology.
Hmm,
They should restrict it.
that's interesting because racket technology has allowed the game to progress to the point where it is now. So,
Mhm.
tell us, why should they restrict it?
I don't think it matters as much, like, the farther down you go, like club players, rec
Yeah,
players.
as
Actually,
my
no,
level, I mean, yeah,
let me take that back. I think it does matter for our level too, because like there are rackets now where it's like you can swing any old way and that ball's going to find its way in, and not just the rackets in particular, but the
restricts,
strings.
yeah,
And like you can swing, you can be a mile away from the court, swing as hard as you can, and that ball will find its way into the court. That's not, you know what I mean? Like it's like what, like that's I don't want to ruin the accessibility of tennis, but I do think that it's at a point now, and Agassi said it in his biography, is that the strings in particular have made good players great players.
You know,
Um,
at first, when you said it, I was looking at you. I was trying not to look at you crazy because I want Cameron. I'm trying to be nice,
mhm.
but I was thinking he's a little bit crazy. But yes, but I will say I could agree with you, but I will phrase it a bit differently. I don't think that they should like stop the progression of racket technology, but I do think that rackets should be standardized to a certain extent because I remember when Roger Federer started playing with a bigger head size, he was able to win additional slams. Now, kudos to him and his team for
Mhm.
figuring that out. But I mean, I think if you know everyone is playing with the same head size and same length and everything, I think that's going to make it more standard. So if you're looking at it from that angle, I can understand. But overall, I'm not too pressed about rackets.
I'm a racket head, so that's my first problem. I'm not talking about going back to wood rackets, not even that. I mean, like if I could chop it off at a certain year, I would probably go back 10 years and stop it there.
Okay. I am for progressing with the technology because I think it makes the game better. But I do think maybe it should be standardized to a certain extent.
I have to say it's somewhat self-serving because I play with like Roger Federer's racket.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I use like gut and things. So I learned how to play tennis the late 90s. So that's how my game was formed before Luxilon and Poly and stuff was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so it is self-serving because it's like, oh, okay, well, now you have to actually hit. And I mean, I'm by no means some amazing pro. I'm absolutely not. But the rackets that I use generally do not help you. You have to do the work. Whereas a lot of rackets now, they do a lot of work for you. That if you would had to like switch that out, like if I were to take even someone's blade version 9 and gave them a blade from like 2013, they might be like, "What is this?"
Well, yeah, for sure, for sure. You have to, I mean, if your technique is really bad, it doesn't matter what racket they give you, that ball isn't going to stay in. But I had heard a story about Serena Williams, the guy who used to give her rackets to demo. He was saying that she was so great at adjusting that it doesn't matter what racket he would give to her, she would
Hmm.
adjust it. And I guess that comes from her, the way she grew up not having much, that she had
Hmm.
to adjust to whatever tools she had. So, I think it's really more so the
Hmm.
person unless the racket. But
Hmm.
yes, it does go hand in hand. The racket does help if you could
Hmm.
make a few adjustments, a few modifications, especially based on the way that you play. So yeah,
Hmm.
I see your point. But I am very excited to get into today's main topic. You have the opportunity to blind rank from 5 to 1,
Okay.
and we are going to be talking about something you mentioned earlier. Do you remember what that was? 3 seconds.
Um, the slams, the
Time's up.
rackets.
Time is up.
I don't
Time is
talked
up.
about a lot of stuff.
You talked about the style of play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about your favorite styles of play. from 5 to 1. So you're gonna blind rank it, and then you can reorder it if you want to. So let's go. Starting with the counter puncher. Where would you put that? Just write it down, and then we discuss it
Mhm,
afterwards. So just don't tell me where you're
mhm.
gonna put it. So put it down. All right.
Okay.
After counter puncher, we have the beloved pusher. Everybody loves a pusher, right?
So are we talking about when we say pusher, I don't believe in calling people pushers. I
So
think it's so what do we
let me make a
mean?
distinction between counter puncher and pusher. A pusher. A
Mhm,
counter
mhm,
puncher is somebody who's going to get the ball back every single time, but they can
uh-huh,
finish points. They know
okay.
they will attack when they have the opportunity. A pusher is never going to finish a point. A pusher is going to moon ball, put the ball back, not give you any pace whatsoever, and wait for you to make the mistake. They will never ever attack.
I put a star by it.
Okay. Next, we have the serve and volleyer.
Okay.
All right, you have two more spots. We're gonna go with the all courts player next. Everyone thinks they are an all court player, but not everyone is. All right, and then final spot is the baseliner.
Okay. All done.
Right, so you have your list. Let's hear it. Starting with number five. What style of play do you have in number five?
Number 5, I put pusher with an asterisk by it.
I
I
have Pusher with an asterisk by it as
mhm.
well.
The reason I put the asterisk is because people love to complain about playing pushers.
Yeah,
And what I say is the name of the game of tennis is what? Get one more ball back right than the other one. And so if you struggle against pushers and you rarely beat them, that says
yeah.
more about you than them.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. And the thing is, here's why I think people lose to pushers, especially at the lower levels. Because I think once you go up like 4.05,
They
you're
don't
not
yeah, pushers don't really
it's not gonna matter, right?
yeah,
But
they don't
at the lower
exist.
levels, the reason why people complain about pushers is because it's an ego thing. They think I'm better than this guy. How is he beating me? And I think in tennis, you have to always, always respect your opponent.
Mhm.
The thing about pushers is that they are patient, annoyingly patient, and they're going to break you down. So unless you could also adjust and be patient as well and wait for the right opportunity, then you're going to lose every
Mhm.
time.
I mean, literally, the GOAT on the men's side, his game style up until more recent years has been, I'm going to break you down. You're not going to be able to get a ball past me. And again, he's not a pusher,
No, he's a
but it's
counter
just,
puncher.
you know what I mean? But it's just like it's this idea that you could have flashy strokes, doesn't matter if they don't land in, but like one every 5 times you hit it, it's out. I mean, it's only 1 in 5 times does the ball even hit the court. So it's like, what's the point of it? You don't get style points, and that's why it's always like to me, it's like okay, like me when I would struggle against hitters, it's like, well, I guess I need to get more patient. I guess I need to hit the track and do some more running because it's like they didn't cheat. That's how you. There's many ways to play tennis, and you hit it into a wall that you have to maybe you should get to the volley. You should get to the net more, but you don't like volleying, so I guess you're not going to win.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
no grace.
I would agree with you there 100%. So we both agree on the pusher being number five. Um, who do you have as number four in terms of your specific
Counterpuncher.
styles? Oh, really?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. I have counterpunch as number three.
And I like counterpunching. I just it's less about me not liking it, that there's other ones that I just like more. Like watching Leighton Hewitt play as a counterpuncher,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Some of my favorite players on the women's side and on the men's side are counterpunchers. Um, I really enjoy Sloane Stephens. I mean, I think she should have done better than she did, but I mean, hey, she's won a slam. But I love
Hmm.
watching her. I used to really enjoy Angelique Kerber as well.
Yes.
Really amazing. Rafa himself, some people would say he's a counterpuncher. Um, the reason I love the counterpuncher is because it's really impossible to get balls past them, but then they also could like have that finishing shot where once they have the opportunity, they go for it. And
Mhm.
I really aspire to be as consistent as a counterpuncher is.
I think also what's good about counterpunching is that, like, you have to know and be able to understand where the ball is going and what is the best shot
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hit next. Like, so if someone, and I think that's what separates them from necessarily the pusher, quote
yeah,
unquote,
yeah.
is that they're not going to put the ball in the wrong spot more times than not. They may be not trying to win the point, but they know you're trying to come the net. So they're going to keep hitting a heavy ball to your backhand and pushing you back so you can't
Yep,
do it. And then if you finally get to the net, they're gonna, give you a low volley and then hit the pass on the second one. It's like they know what punch you're trying to throw, and then they throw another one to like throw you off.
yeah.
And
Well,
that's so I like the idea about having to think like that.
yeah. All right. So counterpuncher you have as number four. Let's round out the top three. Who do you have as number three?
Serve and volley.
Okay, I had that as four. Tell us why you have Stephen Vardy as three.
All our favorite players have done it. People
Okay.
forget that Serena used to do it a lot back in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
You could tell what era they started watching Serena by just like, oh yeah, she never goes to the net. And I'm just like, no, you okay, so you watch Serena at a certain point
Yeah.
in time because she used to be at the net a
When she
lot.
was younger, she was in it a lot. That's true. Yeah. All right. Number two.
Baseliner.
I have aggressive baseliners number two as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
aggressive baseliner.
aspire to be an aggressive baseliner. I feel like I go between counterpunching and aggressive baseliner, but ideally, I would like to be an aggressive baseliner.
I mean, that's how I started playing,
Yeah.
initially. And then as I learned more and more, I would say, like, yeah, it's like that was how I originally played. And still can fall back on that if need be. But I mean, again, it's like it's yeah. I just like the dynamic when you can see people really doing it. And the funny thing is, it's not just hitting the ball hard. Anybody can do that, but to be able to play an aggressive baseliner
Yes.
and win, I'm not saying that it's hard. Well, all of it's hard, but it's like you're standing back there and you're not taking advantage necessarily of coming up into the net where the angles are better and things like that. Like you have to, it's like shooting somebody at point blank range is far easier than trying to shoot them when you're across the street.
But also, I will say the racket technology and just the way the game has evolved. Because when you look at the
Mm-hmm.
grass at Wimbledon now versus back then, the grass on the baseline is worn out, whereas back then the grass where you would volley was worn
Mm-hmm.
out. So because
Yeah.
everyone is hitting with more power now, it's easier to get past.
Mm-hmm.
You have different strings.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are just standing on the baseline and trying to dictate play.
And I mean, as someone who likes to come to the net the way you can even notice a little bit on on the lower ranks too, or even like, of serious club players is like the ball. I mean, it's not to the same, but if people know how to return, it can be more challenging to
Yes.
get to the net unless you know what to get. You're not just gonna because you can get balls. Like even from when I played there are balls and serves that I remember hitting that okay, if this was 10 years ago, that ball would have been either an ace or you wouldn't have been able to really get it back. But now this person could be less athletic than me, not as strong as me, and they still get to this ball and the ball has something on it that it typically wouldn't, before because of the advances in technology. So it does make it harder to do in these days.
100%. Yeah. All right. And the top style. There can only be one.
All quarter.
It has to be. Everyone wants to be an all quarter, like an all court player, like Roger Federer. Yeah.
I mean, I call myself a great value all quarter, or what I think about whatever name of like a generic cereal, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's because I mean I do like using all the shots. I'm comfortable for my level, to be clear, not like comfortable like oh I'm gonna go and play Wimbledon or something, but like I don't mind being at the net. I don't mind being at the baseline. I can figure my way out, in the mid court if I have to. And I think what makes it all quarter, like you said, it's not just wishing. It's like, okay, when you have the opportunity, what things do you do? Like if you have a short ball in the middle of the court and you hit it and you go back to the baseline all the time, then no, you're not. I'm sorry, you're not an all
Yeah.
quarter.
I mean, I'm definitely not an all court player. I play on the baseline most times. My volley has gotten a lot better because I play doubles a lot now. So
Hmm.
my volley has improved, but I definitely feel more comfortable on the baseline. But if, for the people who are all court players, kudos to you. I mean, you won tennis. Congratulations.
Well, I mean, necessarily. I mean, I think people think that all court tennis means you're gonna. I mean, you can have a command of all the shots,
Yeah,
but then someone just has a better command of two or three, and they beat you.
that's
So I
true.
think that's the thing. It's
That's
like
true.
you don't. It's what tools can you use, and it's like okay. I think particularly since over 20 years ago now, I switched from a two-handed backhand to a one-handed backhand. So it's more natural for me to do those things like slices and things like that.
Yeah,
It's more natural for me to hit a one-handed backhand volley or a drop shot off that side, or the angles are different. But also, it makes it's something that you shouldn't try to fix. Like you can always learn different things, like that's fine. But if that's not really your build to
yeah,
do it like that, then you probably shouldn't. Like me, I said, I'm a great value. If Roger Federer is Frosted Flakes, I am, corn flakes with frosting, sugar, and fun, something like, some real generic sounding.
yeah. Well, I know you're going to be in New York soon, and I'm also going to be in DC soon. Maybe we get a chance to play, and I can
But
update.
you'll kill me.
But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Let's
I'm
see. Let's see.
I'm still getting back in shape. So no, you'll
You have
kill me.
time.
I'll have a good 15-20 minutes. I'll wow you, and then I'll need to take a nap. So
Well, Verdell, I really want to say thank you for joining me on this episode. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a fun conversation for me. I hope it was a fun conversation for you as well. And to all of my listeners, again, I want to say thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the support. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. The Five Love podcast is available on YouTube and Spotify. And remember, even if the score is 5 love, it's not over until the last point is played. See you next time.